here, it will work. So the next step that we want to do is type function. It's a reserved keyword by Flash to initialize a function, and continuePressed. This is where we take that specified function and actually tell it what to do. So we pass in the parameters e:\MouseEvent. So it's happening on the event that we've specified here, a mouse event of click. Press enter and put in one curly brace. Press enter again. The next one will pop up automatically for you, and it will be indented by default. It's good practice that whenever you open a curly brace, you indent one tab. When you close the curly brace, you go back one tab. This comes in handy as code expands, which you'll see later on. But inside these curly braces, we have what is actually going to happen when this function is called. When this event listener recognizes that continuePressed is activated, it'll do whatever we pass in here. So you could have it go to another scene in a Flash movie, do whatever you like. In this case, we want just to play. When that happens, the playhead will play through to the next stop function that it reaches. So you can see there, as it's going along, we're still viewing frame script in here, and it's skipping along the frame. I've motion tweened the text to move up on the stage, just merely by repeating what I showed you in the first part. But that just moves up and out of the way until it hits a next stop function. So you see here this little A on the frame indicates that we have some more code. Now, this next screen is where everything's going to happen. So move the title out of the way. I've popped up onto the screen search, which is just a normal classic text field, which is static text. What you want to do next is grab your text tool again and draw a text box about that size. Once you've drawn the text box, I'll show you how it works. If I draw another one, draw underneath there. What we want to do with that is ensure that in the properties pane up here, it is of type classic text, not TLF, and we want to change its type to input text, so the user is able to input some values and return a result from Flickr. So select input text. Now draw another button next to it and call it go. Just put go onto it, convert it to a symbol, a button again, as I've already showed you, and those will be used in later parts of the tutorial. So for now, all we're going to be doing is handling more mouse events on these thumbnails. So I've placed 3 pictures in here that are similar looking, that may be like a mock-up of a search result from Flickr. So it's not an actual result, it's just what we're going to be using with as an example. Now the code. Again, we've got a stop function here, but before that we want to do an import. So we need to import a certain Flash class from its API that is pre-written, and you just use it. So basically, you're essentially sitting on the shoulders of giants. People have gone through and written all this stuff, so you don't need to tell Flash how to behave. You can go to ActionScript website and just look up the API for it. We need to import flash.events.MouseEvent, to end any statement, as is uniform in Flash. Create a stop function so the playhead will stop, and then we get into the code. So what we've done here is in the library, I'll just get this out of the way. I go to my library, I have a series of thumbnail pictures called Thumb1, Thumb2 and Thumb3. Now I've placed each of these on the stage and resized them down, and I have converted them to movie symbols. So movie clip symbols, sorry. So I've got Thumb2, Thumb3 and Thumbnail 1. These are the actual images that you're seeing on the stage. They need to be movie clips so we can interact with them, so we can use them. This is part of a dynamic system. So I click along here. If I go to the properties, you'll see that each has an instance name, same as what we had for the continue button. So Thumb1, Thumb2 and Thumb3. All of type movie clip, as you can see. The next step in what we need to do is click on the frame script, open up your actions panel, and we're going to input some more code. Now don't worry if you don't keep up with this, I will have it all pasted with instructions in the description of the video below, so just expand out the description and have a read if you get lost. By all means send me an email as well or leave a comment and I'll help out where I can. So as I said, import flash.events.MouseEvent and a stop function. I've put some comments into the code to help it explain a bit better for you. So / will comment out the following line in ActionScript. It turns into light grey as you can see there. So the following code handles a press on thumb1 to go to its larger image. So thumb1.addEventListener, MouseEvent.CLICK, thumb1Pressed. That is what we're using. It is exactly the same code as we use for the continue button. We've just changed the instance name that we're listening for and the function name. So again, you just type function thumb1pressed to initialize the function itself. Looking out for a mouse event, which is a click that was specified up here. Open the parentheses and we type in the code. This will control it of where to go. Go to and play 40 in quotes. Now I've named my frame 40 in the properties. So you label the frame there. If you don't want to do that, you can also just remove the double quotes and it will go to and play frame 40 by default. Flash recognizes what you're trying to do with that. We want to do the same for the other two thumbnails that we had there. So thumb2.addEventListener, exactly the same as what we had above. The only difference is that we want to have it go to another frame. So we're not going to the same frame 40 with the original large image. I've set it to 41 and 42 respectively. So you see 40, 41 and 42. Now these have other duplicated event listeners for each thumbnail image, which I'll show you how they work, to listen for events on other thumbnails. Also for a back button. So after you've input all that code into your frame 20, go and insert keyframe at frame 40. Now I'll show you in my movie clip exactly what frame 40 is. So press continue. This is frame 40. So the preview of the large first thumbnail is 40. Preview of this thumbnail is 41 and this thumbnail is 42. Clicking that will go to 42. That will go to 43. So we're just adding more event listeners and functions to handle each press on these frames. And also press on a back button to take you back to where you were. So we'll close that out. Okay, so go to frame 40 and copy in this code. It will be in the underbar as well, so you can just copy and paste it in if you like. It is exactly the same as what we were doing on frame 20, just listening for events and adding functions to those. The only other thing that I've changed is adding a back button listener. So back_btn is the instance name of my back button, which I clicked. Add an event listener to that. Type is MouseEvent.CLICK and the function name is btn pressed, sorry. So you just initialize a function here of the same name as what you're calling and tell it to go back to frame 20. It's as simple as that. So that is the first part of this tutorial. It does get a lot more in-depth, and I'll show you in the second part how we can migrate this frame script into an external ActionScript file to manage it better, because as you can see in here, it is being reused a lot. It's a lot to manage if you're getting into more and more frames, and we've got code all over the place really. So I'll show you how we can take all of this code, only type it once, and call it from an external ActionScript file by referencing it as a class. It is object-oriented, such as Java, if you've ever used Java. This is just another version of it, so an ActionScript version of it, sorry. It's very dynamic, very easy to use once you know how to do it, and this can be carried on to also adapting it to another ActionScript 3 version of a Flash website. Thanks for watching this first part of the tutorial. Look out for the next one, which I'll have uploaded hopefully in the next couple of days, which will show you how to use an external ActionScript file. Again, head over to the website www.pulsemultimedia.com.au. Send me an email for stuff you'd like to see in future tutorials. But for now, thanks for watching and have a good night.